rest of us to come if we want to.
That's fine.
Just study it or whatever.
Call it special meeting or something like that. Just to view it some evening. Then go through it, then decide.
That way we're understanding.
Right,
that
everybody's
we're going
understanding, the whole
along.
board is, yeah.
Yeah.
Special meeting for what?
To discuss this layout.
Why can't we do it today?
Plus, you don't
We
have
don't
everything
have
done.
everything, Jim.
You don't have everything.
That's what I'm saying. We don't
We
even
don't
know
have
what's on the
everything.
application. We don't know, you know.
What's the
Why
economic
would we
thing
approve something, you guys to sign something that we
The-
don't even know and
that you
haven't
were
seen what
saying
you're
that's
signing?
that the courthouse had a hold of
The
on
application, so you
the
don't have
economic
the
or the
Environment.
Environmental
Yeah,
study.
what is that?
The environmental impact?
Environmental impact, it's required for any federal grant that you apply for, and what they want to make sure is that any building that you put up, and in this case it would be an outside stair exit, fire escape, would it impact a wild orchid that happens to be growing only in that area? Or is it right in the path of the sandhills cranes, and will you, seriously, or is it the spotted owl that will be impacted? Are you going to disturb a nest? You know, that's what they look at. If you do any renovation or something on the inside of a building, then usually you don't have to do an environmental. But if it's erecting a new building or putting something on the outside, then you have to do that. And you have to basically you blitz all the different environmental agencies. You submit a letter and saying, here's the drawings, here's the budget. This is, you know, do you have a problem with this? And you give them so many days to respond. So, and like I said, the application you can submit as long as you say that you started it. They're usually okay with that, but they won't let you issue your first loan until the environmental has been done and complete. So you should still be okay with the application.
So in the research I've done on this, which, you know, we just got this, I got my revised Saturday, so, you know, that didn't give us much time. But the revolving loan fund, is that interchangeable, that title is the same as the rural development plan? Are they the same thing? Because in articles I'm reading from the USDA, different things are addressed different ways. So I guess my question is that the same?
Well, when this money comes back in, then that becomes our responsibility to loan who we want, as long as they meet our guidelines. Am I
Right.
right on that? So at that point, it's not the federal.
But when you look at some of the criteria, they say things about a rural development plan. I didn't flag it, I'd have to look
Who's they?
again. The USDA, I've printed and read a lot of the articles on their website about this. And it varies a little bit state by state, you know, Alaska's might be a little different than Nebraska's. But I reviewed some of those, and it's probably just my lack of understanding, but there was a red flag there for me.
Yeah, I don't know, Ellen.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I know that there
That'd
are.
be something I could ask McKinney.
Yeah, because Kelly had given us all of this stuff, and like this is the whole list of all the different forms that you have to sign. It's lobbying, you know, there's certification regarding debarment, suspension, ineligibility, involuntary exclusion. I mean, things that it doesn't make sense to the average person, to me, basically. But Kelly said this is part of the application, so you need to sign off on all of these things, and you need to have the revolving loan fund plan. And so that's what Chuck had given you, you know, at this point. You have to have a resolution that is adopted by the board. And all of that has to be part of your application. And the main thing that I'm helping with is the business plan portion of the application that must be submitted with your entire application. And the business plan, of course, is going to come from the courthouse, and that has to have all of the plans and, you know, marketing study and all that good stuff that goes along with it. So there's just a lot of different components that are part of this application. And basically what you do is you submit this giant application to USDA and just say, okay, you know, are you going to grant us money for us to then start our own revolving loan fund? And then you have your own plan, Ellen. You've got your own fund. So,
basically, right now, there's $300,000 go to the county to put, we'll say, the elevator in.
it can't be for the elevator, because they already got a
Oh,
CDBG
okay.
grant for the elevator. But yet the whole project includes, the whole project will include, the elevator will be part of it, that'll be like their half that they'll be providing the matching funds for. And then the tuck pointing that they want to do for the outside stair exit, which is what the state fire marshal is requiring. And then maybe phase 2, a year or two down the road, would be the inside sprinkler system that the state fire marshal is recommending, not requiring, it's going to recommending. So those are all the components to it. And so you would get $300,000, and all of that would, like I said, the elevator was going to be like $300,000, and then the rest of it, tuck pointing about $50,000, outside stair exit $50,000 or $60,000, and the internal sprinkler system about $190,000. So that would total to be $300,000. So you'd have your elevator at $300,000, the rest of it at $300,000. Total amount of the project would be $600,000. This would fund half of it, which is what your guidelines, saying we fund half the project. So that's the path we're taking at this point. So once that is done, I mean, if you get this Red Leg grant, then you are able to loan it out. Courthouse would be your first project. Then as they pay that back, then I think, Ellen, that's when you have your plan as to how you then want to reloan that money out.
And that is
You can
what
make your
you call
guidelines.
the rural development plan.
Well, I'm
No,
Possibly.
that's the revolving loan fund plan.
But you're
Yeah.
saying,
But I've read in here that there is criteria for a rural development plan. I wouldn't have come up with those words on my own.
No.
And I just questioned that. What does that mean? What do we have to do?
and that was with
That
Red
I'll
Leg?
ask Kelly.
That said with Red Leg?
That's when I read, yes, because I printed tons of stuff
Okay.
and just read through it. And that was one thing that was flagged I didn't understand.
Yeah, you'll have to ask him.
Mm-hmm. What does that mean? How much, is it another boatload of work for this? That's my questions.
It's a good question, and I admit, like Nancy, you were following the advice of Kelly and also other power districts that have done this.
Mhm.
You've done probably more research on it than I have, because we've been using their advice, their experience, and Nancy spent a lot of time on this as well.
How does the other power districts, how does it work? I mean, Dawson, they did that deal at Hershey, but it never got off the ground, did it?
I think so.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking they got their money anyway.
They got
But
another one for
there's-
another one.
But there's nothing going on out there.
I think they were trying for another one.
Yeah, they're trying for another one. One of the fellows out there told me here, I think it was in Kearney, that they were going for another one.
I have a list, an updated list.
I know there for a while Hershey there was nothing happening out there. What they were
That
doing.
has a little bit about some of the.
Well, it's economic times, but it's economic times too.
so,
Who else is doing it besides Dawson?
Perennial has one too, but I don't know anything about their project, to tell you the truth.
I mean, so far I haven't, much hasn't been said of how it's worked for the other districts. I mean, I haven't seen anything to say that it's been great or it hasn't been worth a damn or whatever.
Well, I'll tell you, Harry, that I could speak for the city sales tax, and, people didn't know how that was gonna work either. It's kind of a leap of faith, at that point, and we get requests all the time. All the
Did you
time.
have to put up earnest money like we're doing for the city sales tax? See,
No,
like-
because the money just keeps coming in.
See, that's drawing a little bit of, where we're having to stick this 60,000 and then we can never use it. We're kinda stuck there. In the way the economic times are now.
Yeah. Harry, I just was up to visit my brother up in Wisconsin, and he's retired now. But he had a business up in Maui Industries, and he needed big expansion. Put these elevators and ships to bring out the missiles or whatever they had to the deck so they could fire them. Well, it was beyond the money he had capable of raising himself, so the town got involved.